Period. 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 Give advice for the things that we should have been doing. Should have. And if whatever's going on right now has nothing to do with me. All I know is that I love my child. I love her. And I don't ever want her to watch me go through the things that I went through while having her. I never want her to grow up watching a man beat me senselessly because he don't want me to do what he wants me to do. I don't want her growing up thinking that it's okay for her to allow a man to take her power away and shut her up. I don't want her growing up like that. No. Period. I cry for my daughter. I cry for my daughter. She's a woman just like me, will be a woman just like me one day. And anybody who wants to see Eliana go up in a fucked up ass environment, fuck you. Fuck you. I was in denial before. To healing a situation that I had no control over. I am not giving my energy to something that I cannot control. No more. No more. No more. Even as much as good as I was injected, as much of righteousness that I was trying to give, it was all in vain. Maybe not for me, but it was all in vain. And to be blasted onto line and talked about the way that I am and criticized the way that I am by my own baby father is one of the most hurtful things that you could ever go through in your life. Yes, you know? I'm in my feelings.
Why?
Because
what?
I just feel that no matter what has happened in my life from before I had Eliana up until now, I've tried to make the best decisions that I knew to make in my decision. And because of times where I didn't make the right decision and I thought it was the right decision, it jumped me and bit me back in my ass. I just feel like those were the mistakes that I had to make to be able to teach Eliana that this is not what you do in this situation. This is what you do. And as a young woman and, you know, being raised in a certain circumstance that I was raised in, I'm thankful for going through what I went through so that I can be able to teach my child.
And that's the most important thing. You live and you learn. You know, the mistakes that you made in the past is something that you learn from, and you could teach Eliana to do better. You know what I'm saying?
I just feel even more hurt because all I ever tried to do was good. All I ever tried to do was help the situation be as peaceful, be as righteous, and it's just sad how people are trying to turn a blind eye to what I've done and how I truly feel. And I'm saying that in regards to her dad because I know that crazy people are going to be crazy people. I have no control over crazy people being crazy and being delusional and being something that is beyond my control. But to be played like a fiddle and to be ostracized and just put out onto the internet and made to look like a hoe and made to look like this and everything, it really does hurt me. Because I've never tried to do anything to anybody to hurt them the way that Nature Boy is trying to hurt me and trying to shut me up and trying to squash me. That's unfair on so many levels. On so many levels. All I ever did was support this nigga. That's all I ever did. I took up for him in the most times where he shouldn't have been. He should have went to fucking jail. In those times when I took up for him, he should have stayed in there. But I took up for him. I protected him. I went against my own voice. I went against my own feelings. I went against my own self to be for him, to support him. And all he has to say in return is that I'm fucked up. Which has nothing to do with me. But the reason why I'm crying is because of Eliana. This is the baby. This is a child growing up in a circumstance where her mother is obligated to tell her or to answer questions to her when she gets of age, when she starts questioning shit about what happened when she was a kid, about her relationship with her dad, between her mother and her father. This is something that's globally happening. This is not something that just happened in my life. This is global. Multiple children are going through this. And you know what the parents do? They walk around and act like nothing happening. They walk around and act like the children are okay. I am a victim, not even a victim, but of a person of a circumstance. I'm a product of a person of a circumstance from the same behavior. The same behavior. And people just walking around thinking that it's okay. Humanity is walking around thinking it's okay. We need to change. We need to change. Not for ourselves, but for our children. If we don't change for our children, we don't give a fuck about our children. We don't care about our children if we don't want to change for them. What type of person does that say that you are? You are no count person if you don't want to change and make better decisions for your child. You don't care. You don't care about your child. And it is what it is. It is what it is. You want to point the finger at me? You want to point the finger at you? You want to point the finger at somebody else? What about Eliana? What about our child? What about our children? You could blame whoever the fuck you want. You could say whatever the fuck you want. But what about the child? This is what I cry for. Not because I'm hurt, not because he left me, not because of none of that bullshit, but because of my daughter. My daughter. And I just encourage everybody out there too. I just encourage everybody out there to just have a heart for their children. If you have a situation where you have children with a person, always make sure that you're making the right decisions for everybody that's involved and not one-sided and being selfish. And he is cut off. He's fucking blocked. Period. Period. I'm not putting myself through that no more. Period. And I'm purging on this day because this is my reality and this is what I have to live with. This is what I have to live. This is what I feel. And if you don't like it, you can get the fuck. You can get out of my room. You can block yourself, bitch. Period. If that's how you want, if that's how you feel, you can get the fuck out of my room, out of my life, and you can go block yourself, bitch. How about that? If you don't like what I'm saying, if you don't like what I'm doing, if you don't like my self-expression, get the fuck and block yourself. Period. Because what you're not gonna do is silence me. I don't give a fuck who's watching. I don't give a fuck who's commenting, who's texting. I don't care. Block yourself, bitch. How about that? Get the fuck out of my face with the negativity. Anything negative that you have to say, anything negative that you have to put on me, bitch, bye. Bitch, bye. And I hope that's triggering you. And I hope that you get the fuck. Period. Because at the end of the day, this has nothing to do with you. This has everything to do with my child and her being in a fucked up ass situation. And if you think that shit is funny, and if you think that that shit is something to make fun of, fuck you. And I hope that you are dealt with by the universe just the way that you need to be. Period. I'm not gonna let nobody take my shine. I'm not gonna let nobody do nothing to me that's not supposed to happen to me. Period. Because guess what? I'm not out here doing shit to nobody. Nobody.